What's up, everyone, and welcome back to yet another episode of the Chromecast. My name is Joe, and I'm joined here today by Robbie.
Hey, what's up?
And Gabriel. You all...
Hello.
Hello. You all are sipping on some coffee.
Dramatic
and
pause.
I'm having me some afternoon caffeine, which
Lightly
I normally don't
caffeinated.
do, but it's only 30 milligrams.
Zesty water. It is delicious. That has become my go-to.
We have to figure out if they have an affiliate program or something.
They do.
I would love for us to rep some AHA.
Yeah.
Aha.
AHA.
Yeah. They do a lot of Instagram and TikTok stuff, but yeah,
Dope.
they do have an affiliate program.
Let's do that. What coffee do we have right now? We haven't talked about our fresh roasted coffee in a minute. We're still on the anniversary.
Still.
As long as they keep
I didn't
shipping it,
realize
I'm
that.
staying on it.
There you go.
I'm
We
afraid
just
if
got another box, didn't we?
yeah, I'm
Well, I
afraid
was
if we
talking
stop, it'll go away.
I was talking with our account person, and they were saying that the anniversary blend is the hit around what it's what they're drinking. So when the people at Fresh Roasted Coffee are drinking it, it's good.
It's a good daily drinker. It's just really good.
It's not super
nothing crazy standing out.
Yeah, it's not super duper robust,
No.
and it's just smooth.
And there's nothing to
and
get tired of. Like if you get a fruity coffee, for instance, like an Ethiopian or something.
Yeah, gets
I
old.
love those, but after a while, it's just like, I want something a little more earthy.
Yeah, like
eventually.
after the third sip, I'm done with the fruity coffee.
I love the
I like
smell.
both.
Yeah,
I like the
do
flavor.
like the smell, like the roasted smell of the lighter, the fruitier. But like if they're acidic or fruity or anything like that, they don't agree.
Oh
with
man,
my
that just
palate.
reminds me of the redneck coffee snobs.
Yeah.
me and
We were
me
gonna
and,
do that like as a YouTube channel before we started any of this.
We should have, man. Gosh, that
Let's
could have
still
been
do
our
it.
thing. Let's do it.
Still
I'll
do
just make it a TikTok. That's what I'll do.
There you go.
It's just a redneck snob in general.
Yeah, the redneck
it's just,
snob.
It's
That's all
just
it is.
us, but I'll just do it
Being
in my redneck voice.
but also actually being snobby. About
Right,
it.
like
could it be bougie redneck?
like actually
Ooh,
know
that could be the
Yeah, there
bougie
you go.
redneck.
Bougie
like
redneck.
know everything about coffee and bourbon, and we're gonna do it. Let's
Like
do it.
Shoes.
shoot, I'll
Man, I'll tell you what, man. That
yeah.
Yirgacheffe you had yesterday, man.
The
That thing was
Ethiopian?
that was floral and delicious.
Oh, it was super fruity. That unfinished stuff. It's just
It's like walking
absolute
into when my wife
deliciousness.
just put out the fresh potpourri. I couldn't do it.
Well, man, when you get
He
that,
don't love it. He don't.
when
He
you
likes
get that-
beef jerky
when
type
you get
coffee.
that Yirgacheffe-
I do.
you get that Yirgacheffe and you throw it in a Chemex.
Oh.
Man, I tell you what, right now, man, a Chemex that brews up real nice.
Real nice.
Real nice.
No, I mean, I like to take mine. I actually take my beans, and once they've been roasted, I like to brew a pot, and then I put it in my Traeger 35 for about 2.5 hours.
Smoke it.
Get
Smoking bad
like
boys.
It's smoky.
Oh yeah, Gabe's got a new grill.
Smoke. Do you have it
Yeah.
already?
No, it's
Oh.
Oh, you don't have it yet.
it's my surprise Father's Day present.
Nice. Eventually we're gonna have some sort of cooking show for Gabe. It's gonna happen. I don't know how. I don't know when.
So we have an entire. We don't call them pigs here.
Just hit me.
Yeah, we don't call them pigs. Yeah, it happened.
Hey,
We
guys.
call them hogs here in the country. So we have an entire hog.
Sorry,
Hey,
Andy
I
Cab.
just want to chime in.
And my brother and I decided instead of doing a side of beef, we both went ahead and got a whole cow. So we have a whole cow and
Oh, you didn't get a hog?
an entire hog. So
Oh,
I
you
have
got a whole hog.
I have
Yeah,
a
a hog.
whole
You
hog
went whole hog.
and a whole cow, which it's crazy.
Heifer.
That's a lot of
It
meat.
sounds like a lot of money, but when you break it down, it's literally probably about a quarter of the price of what it would cost if you went to the store and bought
hopefully
better
those
quality,
items and way better quality. I know the guy. I grew up with the guy that
I was
that
crying a
raises
little
them.
bit there.
They're, yeah. So speaking of smoked meat and beef jerky, I would like to give a special thanks to Andy Cam for bringing in some biltong this week.
Yeah, he's here. He is
He's here. He's here.
I just want to chime in and say, moments before we started recording,
Literally,
Like-
literally. I think it was seconds.
Joe said, "I will not forget to introduce you."
Yeah.
Yeah, he
I've
said that
done-
was the last time that
We've
last
done the
time.
same intro for 150 episodes.
What did
okay.
I tell you? What did I tell you? He said the last time that wouldn't be the last time,
Yeah.
but now that last
That
time
one-
will be
that
the last
was-
That
time.
True.
yeah, exactly.
The last time until the next time you forget.
Yes.
No. It's now it's a done thing now. It's
You
it's
need
a
to
done
move
deal.
here.
Yeah,
So
you
you
need to
just
be more.
stare at 'em.
Be right. Just be right in between these two.
I'll just give you death stares. The entire time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you say you found your knife? Is that?
I did find
Yeah,
my
there you
pocket
go.
knife.
Nice.
I mean, that's totally unrelated.
Yeah. Well, we did our. I thought you had lost it last night.
Well, he
'cause
found
we-
it. It was in his back.
Gosh. And I put it there. Sorry.
And then
George
forgot
Costanza.
to
I'm
put
just
it
going to leave now.
At two brute.
And I'm out.
Wow.
Leave on top.
Wow.
That was great.
Leave on top. Well, we did our Canary Crew live stream last night, and it was a lot of fun. I thought you had lost it last night during setting up for that, but you said you lost it during your shoot.
Yeah.
For the short film.
Yes.
How's that coming?
It's coming along slowly but surely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have an ETA?
It needs to be done before June, and shooting, and then editing by September.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is there a film festival we are attending?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to go to Sundance, if we get into Sundance, you should go.
Is that in California or something?
Are you being serious?
We are submitting
into
to Sundance. Yeah, that's in Utah.
I was going to say, Sundance is in like
Colorado.
Aspen or something, isn't it? I thought it was Aspen.
That's
just
because
we were talking about Dumb and Dumber.
No, I think that is actually the Aspen Film Festival,
Okay.
correct? I think.
It
I
might
don't
be.
know.
There is something in Aspen. I do know that.
Skiing, Joe.
Yeah,
Well,
they
I
have
know that,
snow.
but the Winter Olympics
where
were
women flock like
there.
the salmon of Capistrano.
We could do this all day. I can do this all day.
The
You need to
Sundance
tell
Film
me
Festival
you
is
had
held-
two.
Park
I mean,
City,
we could
Utah.
go
There you go.
Park City, Utah.
At the Sundance
That's what I was
Resort.
doing. Yeah,
There you go.
that's
dope.
Yeah.
Love it.
we
love
can't
it.
go.
Love it.
We can't go down the Dumb and Dumber rabbit hole.
Yeah, we can't do it. We can't do it. Yeah, we we said no devices, so Andy has to look things up, and then Gabe
Oh,
still
yeah.
just looks. It's hard to break the habits, you know. It's
Like
just-
I'm here.
he's a-
Hey, I
quick
I'm
look
doing
up
it.
guy. Look up
but
guy.
yeah, the Aspen Short Fest is the Aspen Film Festival.
Short Fest.
Short
That's
fest.
just what they call it, but it's the Aspen Film Festival is the one that hosts it. So.
Love it. Love it. Well, if you get into Sundance, I will be there. I don't know about these guys. I mean,
I've been to Aspen, but since it's not in Aspen, I would totally go to Utah.
My
I've been to
question-
Utah too.
I may
but-
or may not go, but I remembered you were here.
That's what I was gonna say. If I get into Sundance, will Joe remember to go?
yeah.
Probably
not. Probably not.
not.
You'll have to remind me. That's for
We'll get
sure.
halfway through that week's episode, and he'll be like, "Hey,
Where's
Andy?
Where's Andy?
At the festival.
He's in
Remember?
Utah,
Remember?
you idiot."
My memory.
Did he
my
say
memory
something?
no work good. I'm sorry.
Getting old. Getting old.
So let's hop into some news of the week. Do we want to start with the Pixel Buds?
Sure.
That
why
stuff,
not?
We
or
will
we can
now.
start with the AMD stuff. We have our AMD Ryzen background. We're gonna get to that.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to that.
TV
Let's start
is
with Pixel Buds. So I don't know. I'm not super read up on this. I know you wrote
There's
this
not much to
yesterday.
There's nothing.
Yeah,
There was a
but
tweet.
There was a
that-
little information
Yeah,
out
so
about some Pixel Buds Pro.
John Prosser put out a tweet a few days ago just saying, coming soon, Pixel Buds Pro in 4 colors. I don't remember the colors. I guess
Fog.
Andrew. Yeah, I remember that because
Yeah.
we were like, what's fog?
Rage Red,
Rage
Road Rage Red, Ripple
Road
Red,
It's
Road
real
Rage.
red.
something
What is
red.
it?
So real red.
Real red, there you go.
Carbon,
Carbon. I like that.
Limoncello, limoncello.
Limoncello, which is not Jello. It is an Italian liqueur, by
Right.
the way.
And
Limoncello.
fog.
Limoncello.
Fog?
Yeah, my guess is fog will be like a smoky
Bluish
bluish.
white or
Yeah.
blue.
Off-white.
Yeah, kind of because they have the mist is like a
The
bluish
bluish
green. Yeah.
Real red. So it's gonna be
limoncello.
red.
Here's the weird
Will be
thing to
yellow,
me though.
obviously.
His tweet
Pastel.
said soon, which gives me
Right.
the feeling.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just going to tease them, but gives me the feeling it's going to be at IO, which is next week.
Yeah,
or
next Wednesday.
By the way.
they'll save them for the fall and spend an hour talking about how
awesome
great
they
they
are.
are.
But here's the deal: they just hired up they've been snatching up all these audio engineers and all that
Right.
stuff
See, I
over the
looked-
last few months.
I looked into that.
Yeah.
Because
It seems to
I
not
think-
line up to me.
Well,
so.
I think Michael wrote that piece for us, but it went around the internet.
Yeah.
Just that Google was, grabbing up not only talent but patents. So they were hiring people that are good at stuff like spatial audio and all that kind of stuff, noise cancellation, those types of things. Those hirings actually, if you go back, so I looked in his article and I looked at the articles he referenced for all these people that they're, I don't want to say poaching, but pulling into this division. The hires go back to 2019.
Oh, well, there you go. Pixel
So-
Buds Pro.
Right.
Best
And I was
Pixel
like,
Buds
oh.
ever will be here next week.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it could be real soon. It's just one of those products that
Yeah.
wasn't talked about that much. And even the regular Pixel Buds, when they came out, like they announced them and they didn't come out for 6 months. And,
Yeah.
and the only reason they got talked about was because we kept digging around for stuff that, maybe we'll find it, maybe they'll be coming out because we didn't have a date.
Yeah, my hope is that they're super low key. That's part of one of the
Yeah.
assist. They have an assistant session at IO. Whatever it's a part of, They just like, hey, by the way, here's this thing. It'll be coming out on this date. We've done some things, whatever. Because you remember the whole spiel when we went to the event and they talked about, Bluetooth works for a football field. Joe walks to the next room, his cut out. Yeah. My wife's left one stopped working, and we never could get it working again because the contacts won't contact the case. We've cleaned them. We've done everything. And it's like, just low key say, hey, we've redesigned our Pixel Buds from the ground up. Here they are. And they're just really good.
That's what I wore out of curiosity. I was writing that up yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think. Yeah. And I dug out the Pixel Buds A series because I gave my Pixel Buds to my wife, and she's just found them to be too uncomfortable and just they don't stay connected. So she doesn't use those very often. But the A series is here, and I used them for a little bit. I was like, I'll give them a try. They immediately took their update, and I was like, let's see if anything's been fixed. But in the process of doing that, I ended up having them in my ear for an hour and a half straight, I think, and super comfortable. Like they fixed the thorn, I think, on those. Well, so you fix one area, so that was one problem. So they fixed that part, and the sound is good. Like they do sound really nice, and I like how they interact with my phone.
And the adaptive sound is nice.
Yeah,
it works well.
Because as some stuff, I think either music was playing in the office or something came up, and I remember taking them out and being like, wow, it was blocking more sound than I thought.
Yeah.
But for me, the problem with the original Pixel Buds has been the bugs. Obviously, I mean, when stuff doesn't work right, that's a problem. Yeah. Connectivity is no good. But bigger than that is the fact that they have such bad lag, and they still do. The Pixel Buds A series, I loaded up PUBG New State and got in the training grounds and hit the button, and it's a full second behind it.
You can't play games like
Pow.
that. Yeah.
Well, and you notice it watching YouTube.
Hey, and here's the deal.
YouTube videos and stuff auto sync. They'll find themselves.
Oh,
so I was
right,
even watching some video and stuff on like embedded video, trying to find something that's a little more obscure. It's not a proper like YouTube player or whatever, and it syncs that stuff too. Like all that stuff's fine. So that's why a lot of people can have those and not notice that lag so much. But anything you're doing in real time is going to have a problem. So that means video conferencing, like. You've got to fix that now. And post-pandemic, you can't have earbuds
something's up audio. When most Google people, when they're doing live streams or recorded stuff, they're wearing AirPods. There's a reason for that. But here's the deal. Google does not need to make the next AirPods Pro. They don't need to make the next, what's Sony's, the WHCs or what WHX is. What they don't need, or the Galaxy Buds. They don't need to make any of that. There are tons of really good ANC lag-free headphones out there on the market for under $100.
My Wise Buds are great.
Wise Buds. I have a couple different pairs. Make a really solid set of Google-branded earbuds for $129 and make sure everything on them works. Put the swipe. What did they take off? They took off the
put the swipe. You got to put
the swipe back
because that was one of the best parts.
That's the reason I still use
swiping for volume
and
make them noise. They don't have to be the best noise canceling in the world, but we've proven time and again with $30 earbuds that we bought, noise canceling is not that hard to do decently.
Yeah. Again, the Wise Buds were $70 when I bought them, and the noise canceling is darn near as good as my AirPods Pro. And again, people could look at that and be like, well, that's not as good as the Bose QC2 that you got on your. Well, yeah, no, they're not. But those are also $350 headphones that require a big case and all that kind of stuff. I can pull my AirPods or my Wise Buds out of my pocket, and I carry them with me literally every day. And so, they've got to fix the lag issue, and it shouldn't be that. Like, we're at a point now where it's not like magic that earphones don't have lag. It's just part of the product now. Like
Bluetooth 5.2, there's really no reason.
It's fixed it. Like there's just no reason for this. So if they show up with lag again, I will not hesitate to absolutely blast these headphones.
And that's another thing. Google has shown its strengths with the budget-friendly, really good devices. Their A series of phones have been spot on. We have just as much hope for the 6A. They don't need to reinvent the premium headphone. I don't know anyone saying I want a $300 set of Pixel Buds.
No.
I want a $129
unless
set
they make them just
fix everything
incredible.
But Google,
if they shoot too high,
in that arena, I don't think.
Yeah,
they one of the people they hired or something, one of the acquisitions or whatever is for like spatial audio. So it feels like they probably will dabble into that with this. And I've not messed with it much. Andy, have you messed with that at all? Like AirPods and spatial audio?
Cool. It's a little trippy.
Like it's a gimmicky thing. Like I've done it with
Let's give it a breakdown for people that don't know what spatial audio is.
Basically, it's the ability for, so if I'm watching something that's in front of me, the earphones understand that that's front, like that's in front of me. So if the sound is coming from here and something goes by on my left or my right, you hear that. But if I were to turn my head 90 degrees, all the sound should be coming mainly from my right and then hear echo in the left.
So it's sort of like, to dumb it down where I can understand it, it's like it's surround sound that's relevant to where you are.
Correct.
Is what it is.
So it's trying to mimic what it would be like sitting in a room with speakers. There's not a whole lot of times I've been like, God, I wish I had some spatial audio here. Like it's a neat concept. It's cool.
The area that it was
VR
mind-boggling for me was when we were doing 360 video.
Oh yeah,
correct.
And in VR, having the audio that lines up. Yeah. So the demo that I saw out at NAB, or this might even been CES, I don't remember. It was Sure actually. They had a person playing a piano in the front of the cathedral, and then people talking in the back. And as you turn, the audio all moves.
And that's just
and
part of
everything's
part of VR software. I mean, if you play,
but if you don't record spatial audio, it doesn't do it. Like a lot of the videos we did with HTC was just regular audio. Yeah, it was. You have to have spatial.
So to me, like
mics.
that spatial audio is like a necessity in VR.
Yeah,
like,
it should be now. Yeah, for
sure.
Yeah, if the sound doesn't move with you.
Right. It would be super off-putting. And, I'm talking about playing. We have a Quest, an Oculus Quest, or what, Meta Quest 2 at the house.
Meta Quest.
We play on it quite a bit. The kids are constantly on it. We play some games as families and stuff. So anytime I put it on, I don't even think about it until every once in a while it catches me. Like I'll hear something, move in space, that's making something over here. And as I turn to go do this, it's still back over there. Absolutely necessary with that. It's one of your five senses.
If not, it'd probably be nauseous in games and stuff like that.
It would make you feel really disconcerted or discombobulated and stuff. And so, awesome there. If I'm watching a video on my phone, I don't know that I really care to lose stereo separation because I turned my head.
Yeah.
Like, cool trick. And if you're doing AR stuff or if, you're doing some other some integrated stuff with it, I could see it. But like for general watching a YouTube video,
because in this situation, you generally are going to keep the phone directly in front of you. You're not going to move tangent to your phone. That doesn't make any sense.
I wonder if it is like an AR thing, like as Apple
which is why
obviously
they bought up
very
that company that makes the screen.
Interested in that stuff.
Maybe. Who knows?
I don't know.
But it's that stuff is cool.
It's a little bleeding edge.
But
still.
Please, Google, don't spend so much time and effort on spatial audio
and make this big presentation.
And don't
about it.
Please don't do that.
Don't do it.
And don't fix the things that you needed to fix because there are other companies that do spatial audio and that's great. Good for you. Whatever. And again, it's a neat trick, but it feels a little bit more like a parlor trick, and you haven't gotten all the regular skills ready yet.
Right. It's the same stumble you had with your last couple Pixel lines. Let's focus on feature drops, but we're not tending to the real issues with phones.
So fix the stuff that needs to be fixed. And so lag, connectivity, the basic stuff that most earbuds at this point do well. But if they do that, there's a lot of people that will be in line to get them. It's not quite the Pixel Watch phenomenon, I don't think. I think for Android users in general, they're going to line up to buy the Pixel Watch because they want a nice premium watch that gives them an Apple Watch kind of feeling about their stuff, but that works with their phone. Earbuds, I don't know that people are going to be like, oh my God, like these are going to be so much better than what XYZ. Now, if you're a Pixel owner, like the experience of flipping the Pixel Buds open and just walking through it, it is. It's just nice to have stuff that works together. That's, they've learned that part from Apple and how Apple thinks about those types of things and makes sure and puts that stuff in place, and so that stuff's great, but I don't think earbuds, like that's not enough for me. If those earbuds have lag and connectivity problems, I'll go right back to my Wise Buds and probably my AirPods Pro. Like I'm just going to go back to those. Yeah, the interface isn't quite as fancy or whatever, but they work. They're super comfortable.
Now, are they
going to all day?
So are they going to do? I can't remember. Is there a Pixel Watch Pro? There's not. There was the one that they said might be like a fit. But
two sizes.
So if there's going to be Galaxy Buds Pro, is there going to be another iteration of just a regular Galaxy? Are they going to do another
Galaxy Buds or Pixel Buds?
Not Pixel Buds. Sorry, I mean Galaxy Buds.
Who knows? I could see them. I could see them doing Pro, and then I don't know. I don't think they know. They probably, from a marketing standpoint, I guarantee you, said we've got to do something to show that we're doing extra stuff with these.
Yeah. And
so
that's
it's
fine.
like,
If they do a Pro, and it's even if it's $159 and they do them really well, do another A series and do them for like $60.
Yeah.
Because what are the A's? They're $100, aren't they?
$100.
Well, they were.
The A's are too. That's
probably on sale.
$100 is too much for those all day. In my
oh
opinion.
yeah, I mean, there's too many good headphones you get for $100.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, the performance of AirPods are too much better than them. You can't price yourself next to them unless you're going to match them.
What's the regular AirPods?
I don't know.
Andrew.
You have to look that one
I
up.
think they're like
160
160, 170 for the latest.
Yeah.
for the AirPods 3 without, they don't have noise canceling. They don't have ear tips.
How
or
much
anything
are
like
the
that on
Pros?
them. Pros are
Pros?
$250.
Yeah,
Normally.
but they're on sale.
They're
right
always
now,
on sale for
under
$200.
Yeah,
I'm not buying.
And so $250 is.
I actually
mean,
just bought another pair the other day. I accidentally washed my last pair.
Oh.
I was like, it'll be fine. I'll let it dry out. And I put
See,
them on my ears. And
If
it
you had a new
hydrated.
washing
Yeah.
machine, that wouldn't happen.
I mean, that wasn't a new washing machine.
The new washing
work.
machine
Washed
will
them extra
sense it. There's an electronic in here. I will
Don't
not
do
put
it.
water in.
I hope so. I hope it does. That'd be
Does
cool.
it? Does it
That'd be
have?
cool. All
Does
it
it
have
have
to
a
do is have
Chromebook
Bluetooth.
built in?
It is
See.
Wi-Fi and it is Google Assistant enabled, so
Does it have a
I
screen
can now
on it?
wash my clothing from the
Ooh,
office.
I'm gonna stand here and be like, "Hey, G, start the wash."
Hey, what you got in the dryer? Oh, it's my delicates. hey, G, put the dryer on high heat for about 2 hours. Honey, who drank my underwear?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that just happened.
That would be great.
Okay.
So what was the price on the regular AirPods? Did we say?
$250.
No,
Oh, regular.
160.
Regular.
169.
160.
Yeah.
So yeah. If these aren't excellent,
But here's the thing: like price wise, if they put their Pro out and they put them out at $150, something like that,
yeah.
And
it's
they're
still
Pro.
going to be $60 to $80 cheaper than the AirPods Pro.
right.
So if they can kind of stand toe to toe, again, they have to re-win the audience here. Like
Yeah.
most people know nothing but aggravation from Pixel.
What was
Buds.
the original? The original Pixel Buds were 150, right?
I think they were. Yeah, I think it was
Or
149.
129,
I think it's 129 or something like that. No, maybe more than that.
I don't remember.
Andrew.
Original.
I'm showing 179.
Okay, that
Yeah,
sounds right.
that's right. Yeah, it was 180.
These need to come out at 159 or 150 and be better than the original ones were. When
Man, if they
came
call
out.
them Pro and they're, you think they will do that?
Well,
to be
they
fair,
call them Pro.
got rid of the regular
Yeah.
Pixel Buds
Yeah,
already.
because they're
so.
only selling the Series A.
Yeah.
To be fair, there is another company that calls stuff Pro, and it's not very Pro.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It is
true.
Apple.
Well, I mean, let's
So
be honest.
They get away with
It's
anything.
just it's just best.
Yeah,
Pro means
the
best.
Pixel 6 Pro has some
It's our
better
best
features,
offering.
but people are not buying it. They're buying the 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So anything else on the Pixel Buds Pro, we think maybe they could get teased or maybe even announced at I.O.?
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah.
I said it in my post. I'm like, I'm dubious on that because I.O. has not historically been hardware heavy. They handed out a Chromebook 1 year. They announced one, I think the Google Home.
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
original
the
Google
OG.
Home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be it.
I
They
mean,
announced
the-
no hardware last year.
there's always a slim chance because they do have sessions focused specifically on the Assistant, specifically on Nest. Then of course there's Wear sessions and Android, all that stuff. But
They can make a case to announce anything.
I
they
mean,
want.
there's a
Right.
case because a lot of people are saying that the new detachable Nest Hub possibly, maybe, and they may. But the thing with Google at I/O is that they generally put the focus on the guts behind the hardware. They'll
Sure.
say when the original Google Home was introduced,
It's all
it wasn't about OG Home. It was
all about the
about
Assistant,
the
yeah.
Assistant,
Right.
So they could say, hey, we've started to design Fuchsia or whatever because they're Fuchsia now. Fuchsia is now being honed to work with the detachable displays and things like that, like the new and upcoming. It's not going to be a focus on the hardware, and if they do pitch the 6A, I don't know how they're going to do it. They might not.
I don't either. And as the closer we get, the more I'm just like, I just don't see them putting out all this hardware. They have hardware events for that kind of stuff. That could they move up the hardware event
Yeah.
this year, maybe, and
Yeah,
not wait
but
till October.
Still just pandemic stuff. There may be,
And maybe
what's
some of
happened
this
in
stuff
the past.
was stuff
Yeah.
they wanted to get out before then,
Right.
and they're just like, cool, we'll use this platform to do it.
Like this is our
And
event.
they-
We're gonna have people
Yeah,
paying attention to
and
us. We'll
they
just put it out.
have done conferences, developer conferences, and then a week later, the Nest team separately launched stuff. I remember It might have been the Nest Audio. There was something. There was something that they had emailed like 5 or 6 days after one of their developer events, and they're like, "Hey, the Nest team has some news." It literally had nothing to do with what they did at I/O. So
I don't know. We'll see. I have a hard time believing all this hardware will come out at I/O, but
I do too. But
it honestly, they could.
Pandemic
WWDC, Apple debuts hardware.
Yep,
quite a bit. So it's not like it's all tied. It's their products, so it's going to be clearly tied to the development behind those products.
Right.
I mean,
and it feels like Google's kind of moving that. I don't think they're trying to be Apple in that sense, but it feels like they're moving that direction where they're trying to combine the benefits of their hardware and the software together. And it's easier to put a focus on the new hardware that way, but maybe it's a teaser and then, hey, more to come, and then they have an actual. It'd be awesome if Google did two hardware events every year. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Or
they got enough hardware now.
Yeah, use I/O to do that.
Yeah.
To actually launch hardware at it. I mean, that's kind of what Apple's tended to do. I mean, they have multiple hardware events through the year, but
we'll know more next week.
Yeah,
so,
one way or another. Was it Wednesday the first day?
Yeah,
Wednesday.
So Wednesday at noon.
Wednesday and Friday, or
no,
just
it's
Wednesday,
just Thursday. Keynotes on Wednesday, so 10 a.m.
10 a.m. Pacific, I think. So
we will be tuned in and watching. Over in the main area.
The cool part is the other sessions are all, for the most part, on demand.
Yeah, so as soon as
they come online on demand after the keynote, and so you just watch them whenever. So that's going to be awesome, because having to sit and wait and for us, it'd be like at 8:00 at night and be like, I'll watch this one.
Hey, you're going
to
cover
and
that
sometimes you go to a session and you watch through and you don't, when they're live, you get all the way through an hour session. You're like,
cool.
Literally nothing that pertained to us. And this is the way a lot of conferences should be done.
2x playback speed.
Yep.
Get through it. If it's cool, there's all kinds of stuff. Now I'll go back and dig it. So we'll be able to parse it. We're supposed to actually, we're kind of like on the attendee list now for Google I/O. So we'll probably get most of it in embargo form anyway before. So we'll be ready.
And who knows?
We'll have it all out
one
for
day
you.
We'll actually be able to go out there. It'd be great.
Eventually.
Maybe next year.
It's so weird.
Fingers
still.
crossed.
I had to go to the doctor's office today, and mask required, and they still had most of their seats blocked off and stuff. I'm just like, it's still a little weird. And something like where we live, it's just the numbers have gone to almost nothing at this point. And so it's to see certain organizations hold out still, it's like, oh yeah, crap, that's still
I'd
still a thing.
I'd
in
gone
certain
to urgent care the other day because I had a little ear infection coming on, and I mean, I wasn't bothered by it, but I knew walking in I was probably going to have to put a mask on. No big deal, and I'm not making fun of her. It's just I'd never seen one of these. She had the face shield, but the face shield had a plastic thing that had a stretch, so her face is completely sealed, and I'm just like. But as a healthcare worker, I'm sure a lot of people are like, this is the best option for me and my family. It's just like Robbie was saying, on a day-to-day basis, we don't really deal with that.
Not around
where we are.
And, our numbers
but
are so
there
low.
are those situations where, I remember when I went to pick up my glasses and they're like, you can't come in here without them. I'm like,
and it will take time for these big companies,
They're scared to death if they take that down and something happens of having lawsuits
Absolutely.
and getting roasted on social media.
It's going to take time. They are going to be very, very hesitant.
Well, and I don't know. We talked about this before the pandemic, that some of these things that we go to, it's like
we could have done
just
that
put
online.
a video online and sent us the products, and we could have skipped this whole rigmarole.
Right.
And so we got forced into that. Now I think a lot of them are probably looking at it going,
we saved saved X dollars here, and we didn't have to do all this catering and all this other stuff.
It makes me wonder, after so many people backing out CES again this year, I wonder what CES is going to look like next year.
Trade shows, I feel like, man, they make
so weird though.
They make so much money that they are going to keep doing those as long as they possibly can.
And I think eventually, these companies will have to come back around on the idea that getting people together, like us seeing having face to face time with the reps at these different companies is valuable.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's just value in it, and for them especially, it really is valuable because it's a lot harder to bash on a product if you have a personal relationship with somebody that's lent you that product.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the whole point of it. They want to make you feel a little more personal
connection. And if you have questions about it, feeling free to ask that person and feeling like they're going to be candid with you and you can be candid with them.
Right. It just the relationship changes, and it makes everything a lot better whenever you have those, in person. It's just different.
Yeah.
And I think it's better on both sides. But
yeah, because I mean, a perfect example stuff that's happened with our new Google contact that you talk with. There's been things come up where what was the thing that came up a couple of weeks ago? Smart lock.
Yeah.
I mean, from the outside looking in, it looked like Google. What are you doing? But it was so awesome to be able to talk to him and then clarify quickly, because there are situations where we have hardware and we're like, this is not great. But then if we have that personal relationship, we can talk with them and they can be like, hey, we understand we're trying to work on this, or we're trying to develop something and we need feedback. So
yeah.
And I mean, most of the reps we work with, we have met face to face.
Absolutely,
there is enough of a personal connection for that to maintain. But when you have a new connection that you're just emailing with, it's so easy to see that person as just an email, and so and they're going to see you the same way. Like it works the other way. And so when you need that extra little bit of help or that extra question answered, it's probably a little bit less likely. So it's good for us to go get, to meet people and to know them on a slightly personal level. And it's good for them too, because again, when we know them, like, think of the guys at Bridge, when we were kind of really talking with them a lot, like when things didn't go that well for them, it wasn't quite as easy for us to just be like, well, this product sucks. Yeah. It's like, I just don't want to put that out on the internet. I want to make sure that this is, let's double check, just because there was a personal relationship.
Like, we have to be honest. Like, if we have to put out the information, but we at least, can clarify. We can, we can, because it's easy, I think, for, if you don't have that relationship, it's easy to just, make not necessarily assumptions, but, come to conclusions quickly and put it out on the internet. And, for us with our page views, and all the people that read our website or listen to our podcast or watch our videos, like, that can have an impact. And so it's like having that little bit of extra relationship is always important. So we'll see. We'll see. Maybe IO next year. I don't know. Maybe not.
Not this year, though.
They might just have, like they've done before, where it's some few staff people and it's all online.
Think about if it was going on, though. We'd be flying out to IO next week. And the week after, we'll be flying to New York for Acer's event.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah.
But it's online too.
Yeah.
Which they did a good job. You can look at. We'll link it in the show notes and stuff. But yeah, they're gonna have it on Facebook, YouTube, and on their website.
Yeah, which I thought was cool.
The Acer event.
Yeah.
So and obviously Google I/O will be all over YouTube. Google developers and Google's main channel. So plenty of places to watch it.
Did HP do anything, or was it just for press?
It was just for press.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I
was hoping the AMD video was going to be, but it's a presser.
Oh yeah, 100%. The HP one was too. I was like, I could put this video in. Nope.
Nothing. Nothing. All right. I think that's it for that little segment. Let's take a quick break for an ad, and we'll come back and talk about some of this AMD stuff. Alrighty, welcome back, everyone. So let's dig into the AMD announcement. We're recording this on Thursday, so day before you hear about it. So it was today. It was announced today.
Yeah.
But it was an AMD announcement. I just clarified. AMD announcement, but HP and Acer both put out devices, so they kind of had pressers as well that went out.
It's like a partnership kind of thing.
Yeah.
They all
coordinated attack. Even though HP missed by an hour, but whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah. Hey, I double check, triple check.
So let's talk about the chip and kind of AMD, what they've kind of put out, and then we'll talk about the devices.
Yeah, the picture up there on the screen is from. You can't tell it's an HP because we have it all covered up on purpose. But we got a hold of that device and caused some
ruckus.
What was that ruckus?
What ruckus?
I was just in my office and I heard a ruckus.
Could you describe the ruckus, sir?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's what happens when you leak things.
It is.
Yeah. I mean,
part of it.
Technically, it was a leak. A guy reached out to us and said, "Hey, I've got this. You want to check it out?" He got it to us. We got it back to him pretty quickly, and we made the decision. Like, we kind of looked at it and like, not really interested in like outing that this is what device this is or any of that stuff. We just wanted to see how well this AMD processor performed.
Yeah,
literally was all it was.
If you listen to us, we've frequently mentioned, where is this chip? We've been tracking this chip for months, if not a year.
Well over a year.
Yeah, and often referencing the fact that at this point, it's going to be a little bit outdated, but we were pleasantly surprised with what we saw. And based on AMD's press release, it's going to be a competitive processor as long as the prices stay.
See the speedometer number up there?
Yeah, that 202, that was real life. It was very fast.
Is that one max out at, what's it max out
like
at?
160, I think, or 140.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 140 is pegged, and it's 202.
Was that
it's time to go speedometer 3.0?
Was that the top end?
Yeah. It was a Ryzen 7. No, that might have been Ryzen 5 actually. But yeah, I mean, these chips are going to be fast. And you said in the press release they kind of compared themselves with 11th gen Intel devices, so kind of slotting between 11th gen and then 12th gen Alder Lake devices. And so we don't have any of the like final product Alder Lake devices yet. We're still waiting on those. Those are the announcements that we had at CES, and
we unboxed them, we tested them, but those were early pre-production stuff.
We've got one in our hands that's again an early pre-production model that we can't talk about yet, but it was made clear like this is early, so it won't be out for probably a couple months either. We got the other ones that we've had around the office, were CES related, I'm pretty sure. It's cool to see Alder Lake, and we know that it's going to be fast, but it could be faster, or maybe it won't be quite as fast. But we don't know like what real life battery life will be once it's all tuned and ready to go.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll see the first to market Alder Lake Chromebook in the Dragonfly. They made mention, HP did in their press release. They made mention of the Dragonfly again, and these two new devices that they put out with their release was the Elite C640 G3 and then the C645 G2. So we had both of these last year, right? Yeah. I don't know that we even talked about the 640, last year's 640 at all.
I reviewed one of them.
That was the original.
Yeah.
The first
right.
C640, and had a kind of crap screen on it.
But it was way overpriced.
Yeah, it was super weird. And it was one of those like, hey, we're going to make this for enterprise, and it never went to consumer markets or anything, so it was always inflated in price, and for what you got, it just didn't make sense. They've really done a good job this year, especially with both of these devices. They've put in the C645, it's got options for Ryzen 3, 5, and 7. This new Zen 3 architecture, so Ryzen 5000C series chips. But apart from that, mostly the 645 and 640 are the same. 14-inch Full HD. You can get their 400. They're regular HD models, but then there's Full HD models. There's 250 nit screens. There's 400 nit screen options. There's 1000 nit.
They're doing like 1366 on it.
There's an option.
Really?
Yep. So it's like, hey, if you hate your employees, buy this.
Yeah, I don't get that. Acer didn't do that.
If you want to punish your employees,
a 14-inch device with a 1366 resolution is just
I mean, awful. As a kiosk maybe, but if it's something that you have to look at on a regular daily basis, there's no way.
For shame.
Yeah,
and it probably is a 250 nit. Like
that same one
TN panel that you can't tilt it's gross.
Don't buy those ones.
The one that was on the test that we had, and I was like, they throw whatever they can in these. These are development machines. It was so bad, so terrible. It's
hard to film.
The fact that we got that photo is shocking to me. It might be photoshopped.
We talked about photoshopping. It is not.
Okay.
Because I remember color correcting, but touching up some of the speckles that were on the screen.
Okay.
So no, it's real. It was just the right angle, right
angle. 2 degrees of variation before you start losing color. So apparently they're going to ship with all those, but all those screen configurations, touch, non-touch, again up to 1000 nits with the HP SureView, so the privacy screen stuff, optional on both of them. Up to 16 gigs of RAM, optional on both of them. Up to half a terabyte of NVMe, optional on both of them. Fingerprint scanners optional on both of them. They'll be the first Chromebooks with smart card readers. So I remember we got that. Cool. We got it, and you can see
the
it
one
in that
we
photo.
had
huge
that
gap on the side. We're like, what in the world is this?
Figured out that it was an SD card, and they're like, well, does that mean it's going to have it, or is that something that they do for dog food devices? Because a lot of times those guys will have like 2FA cards or something. Like, what is this? Because we've seen references to CAC readers and stuff.
It's like your ID, and you can also
because like if you've ever been on a military base, if you access a computer there, you have your military ID now is a CAC card, so it just slides in the smart card reader, and that unlocks your mil ID
profile
and all
stuff.
Well, it gets you on.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, military.gov and all that stuff, and your benefits, but. Yeah, that's super standard enterprise stuff, and it should be on laptops.
Yeah,
because buying an external smart card reader is just an annoyance.
And both of them have 5-megapixel cameras. The Intel side, they kind of talk a little bit more about some of the correction for low light and stuff, but they're both wide angle, and they both say they do well in low light. So they're probably going to be better than standard front-facing cameras.
But don't expect to be filming weddings with it.
No. But if it's like what they're doing on the Dragonfly, it wasn't even done on the Dragonfly that we had.
We should
film a wedding.
We should film a review with a Chromebook camera.
No, we should not.
The Slate. Let's do it with the Slate.
Why
Slate's
not?
one of the better ones.
Slate was manageable.
It was still terrible. Let's see. What else was there?
Any mention of USI on the touch ones?
They did not.
Probably not because they're clamshell devices.
Yeah, clamshells only. So backlit keys, B&O speakers,
Mil-spec,
which means nothing. Yeah, they're both 810H. And the Intel one has a bit of AI built in for the microphones for it's what they're doing with Alder Lake. Basically, it has one of the cores can handle background ambient noise. So when you're on a call, it can knock all that stuff down. So like the Dragonfly, some of the stuff they showed off with it was bad lighting, or you're sitting where the window's behind you. Imagine like what cameras on phones can do right now, where they can smartly take HDR and expose certain parts to make the whole thing look good. Take that plus, better tuned microphones that, don't pick up everything in the room behind you. And they're good for collaboration.
Which, by
and
the
that kind
way,
of stuff.
MediaTek and Qualcomm, if you all aren't working on that, you should be, because ARM excels in that area.
Clearly,
That's
all our phones have that.
All
stuff
of their
they've had
chips
for
have
years.
AI just baked in. That should, like the new Duet and all that stuff. The cameras on those should be great.
That's true.
Just
Cameras,
because
the
of
cameras
software.
and mic pickup should be fantastic because it's baked into the hardware of it. Like all they got to do is tap into it. But you got to get a developer that decides to make sure that chip is talking to Chrome OS in the right way and all that stuff. And so HP has clearly done that. Both of them are going to be fast and performant. And the Intel model actually has a lower starting price. I think it's I'd have to look back up, but I want to say it was
Check it out, Andrew.
509.
HP.
Andy Cam.
It should be on the homepage. I think it was a 509 starting price or something like that. And then the AMD was like 549 or something like that. So they're starting in the 500s. But again, you got to remember starting at means like 1366 screen probably.
Ryzen
depending,
3,
like
maybe 8 gigs. Maybe
Acer does cool stuff a lot of times where they'll send us a device. Like specifically, again, I can't tell you what it is from the manufacturer that we were talking about before. But like they'll send us stuff. Different companies will send junk and they'll say, "Hey, if this thing starts at this," and then we're reviewing stuff, and it's like. We don't know.
Yeah.
Well, the same thing with the Dragonfly.
Yeah.
We did that. Like, it's like, well, it's this spec, and he said it might start at $999, but we don't know what starts where, and like what this model that we have, we don't know what the price will be on this thing. And so we're trying to make comments about something. It's like, well, you might dumb all this down and start it. So, and we've seen HP do this where, they say it starts at this, but that's like where they're going to start the retail pricing on it. So it's like the 1366 with 4 gigs of RAM and a Celeron. That might not be what they're referring to. Like I don't know. And
Acer does it too. Acer usually sends us and prices the one that you're going to find at Best Buy.
They'll do that a lot of times.
Yeah,
and
which is nice.
And they'll
Which is
clarify.
good,
And again, it goes back to that whole personal relationship where, our rep at Acer can be like, hey, the one that you have is the one that will be at the store, and here's how much it'll cost. And it's like, oh, that's nice, because when a consumer's watching this and going, ooh, I'm going to wait the month to get that device, they know already that the one we're talking about in this video is that one. So I don't know that that's the case here with HP. It just says starting.
Andrew,
what were those starting prices?
Yeah, starting around $500 in that $500
There you
range.
go.
Yeah. So, what that means, who knows?
Yeah.
And these are enterprise devices too, so they're going to be on HP's site. So they'll probably show up at first and be like way overpriced, and like with the Dragonfly,
$7,000.
would they drop $700 off?
The most expensive Chromebook of all time.
Yeah, so
the wild prices on the Dragonfly.
And for those of you
deflated.
that are watching that, because there's been a lot of people tweeting and emailing, you should order one now because they're $911 off. They're not $911 off. That's just, they now have them down to what the actual pricing is supposed to be, and they still don't ship until October. So
it's the Kohl's method.
yeah, just wait. You will be able to walk
saving
in.
$1,000. $7.
You get your receipt. You bought 3 shirts, and like you saved $847 today.
You only spent $20. Yeah.
Circle
How?
that. Wow.
How did I do?
But yeah, I mean,
wow,
a
I'm
couple
good.
months from now, you'll be able to hopefully walk into Best Buy and get the one we recommend consumer model of the Dragonfly for the actual price you're supposed to get it for.
And then they're like, here's some Kohl's cash
Yeah.
for $50, but you have to spend $500 and you have to use it
By
in
Friday.
15 minutes.
Go have yourself a shopping spree.
you better act quick. Go. Anyway. So let's talk about the Acer a little bit.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
Gabe covered down.
Yeah, the Acer ones. I don't want to say it's better or worse. It offers a lot of the same features you can get from the Ryzen 3 up to the Ryzen 7. They are doing 256 gigs is the max on the storage, but they'll do 16 gigs of the storage is Gen 3 NVMe. The RAM is LPDDR4 or whatever, 16 gigs. But they are all convertibles, 14-inch, standard, full HD. So that they have 2 screen options. One is full HD touch with a 45% sRGB, and the other one is 100% sRGB.
Oh, dang.
Which is probably just going to be on the higher, like Ryzen 7 end or whatever. They are all USI compatible. Keyboard backlit keyboard optional. Probably going to be on the 5 and up. Probably the one you can find if they do sell it at Best Buy. They probably will. They have the 514 at Best Buy.
Do they? I think
think
they
so.
do.
Because they sometimes Acer, like when we went to Brooklyn, they had these were enterprise models. This press release, it's the Acer Chromebook Spin 514 and Chromebook Enterprise Spin. They're selling them as
Separate.
enterprise
Oh, that's nice.
and consumer.
I didn't really cover that in mine, but they were doing the same thing with the HP.
Are they?
Oh,
Good.
Yeah, they
Good.
do-
That's nice.
each press release, even though the stats were the exact same on all of them, the Enterprise just comes with the
Which interestingly
Enterprise
enough,
upgrade.
if you look at my post, there's 2 sets of photos because the consumer one is that kind of standard brush darkish silver that Acer normally uses.
Yeah.
The enterprise one is much darker.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like it almost has a Lenovo darkish.
Interesting.
That'll be kind of nice.
Be nice to
tell them
distinguish.
apart.
But the devices are exactly the same. There's no difference. They're aluminum upper, aluminum bottom, and then
Whatever that composite.
whatever the composite is on the keyboard. Backlit keys optional. All of them have Gorilla Glass trackpads, which is cool. 2 C's, an A, HDMI. No smart card reader. But yeah, that's about it.
Are they standard 14-inch,
Yeah.
16 by 9?
It's just 14-inch, 16 by 9. Nothing really super stands out about it, but the starting price is going to be. They emailed us last minute and said the starting price for the consumer model is going to be $579.
Did they say what the?
Doesn't
what-
say
what
which
it comes
one.
with?
So
Yeah, if it's Ryzen 5, like I was really impressed.
yeah,
with
so
the
if it's 5, 8, 128, you're looking at something comparable to the current Spin 713. Might even be a little bit better because we'll have this published later this week, but AMD did their own internal benchmarks, and most of the tests they did against the 11th gen Intels were anywhere from 12 to 25% better performance as far as battery life, graphics. I think multitasking was one of them they did. So it's going to be it should perform better than the current Spin 713. If you can go to Best Buy and get the Ryzen 5 8128, you're not going to get that 3x2 screen, obviously. But if you can get it for $650, it's going to be a good device.
Last year, or I guess a year and a half ago, when they came out with the the Ryzen 3000 series devices, there was an Acer 514. I think we sent it back. But it was almost like hunter green color one.
Oh,
but the build of it, I love the way that thing felt.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really liked it. It still had vibes of the 713 if it was an Acer Chromebook, but there was just something it was just well made. I always hated that it had that. I was just not a fan of that Ryzen 3000
a little
chip.
bit.
What's the starting price on the 514? I think I'd read
$579.
$579.
Yeah, and
You
then
still know what
correction.
$899 for the enterprise one, which
Okay.
I don't know what the enterprise one's going to start at, which chip it's going to start at. I'm assuming it'll probably have a minimum of 8 gigs, but the Chrome Enterprise can add anywhere from $50 to $100 to the price because you're getting that with it. So
Yeah.
so other than that, and available Q3, that's all they said. So that's pretty wide range.
Yeah, I think the availability on the HPs is June I want to say they were June. I'd have to look back into that again.
That's soon. That's right around the corner.
Yeah.
So if you
ready.
had a what would be the comparable Intel that they've compared these chips to that you all said?
The 11th gen.
11th gen.
So the current gen,
Between.
the ones.
So
ones
if
that
there's
are out
let's say
Stuff you
someone's
can buy
looking
right
for
now.
a device and they see, so when are these both going to be available?
third quarter for the Acer.
So third quarter
next
and then
month for
June.
Yeah. So
June
not
time.
this summer. So
Yeah.
if somebody's looking and they see that 11th gen Intel device that has similar specs or this one, what would be the advantage or disadvantage of getting the AMD versus that Intel device?
Until we test them, it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Don't really know.
But the GPU probably will be better. I would think
this?
on the AMD
over
an 11th
Iris
gen.
XEs.
over the 11th gen one, I think.
That's what stinks is we really have no way to test just the GPU. I wish we did.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
tried. There are some Linux tests that will do some basic stuff, but it's doing is giving you frame rates and
Yeah.
But it's going to be comparable.
Right.
They're a little bit faster than the comparable. So like in my head, I would say Ryzen 5 goes against a Core i5 kind of.
Okay.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Ryzen 7, i7, Ryzen 3, i3 kind of deal. And I would say across the board, they're probably each a little bit faster than the 11th gen. But then when Alder Lake comes out,
Right.
Alder Lake's
what's the 713 weigh? Do you know off the top of your head?
it's in the 3 pound range.
Yeah,
Just slightly under.
and that's the thing. A lot of it's going to boil down to what you prefer. I mean, the Spin is an overall great. The 713, which is $699 retail,
Yeah.
is an overall great device. Plus, you get the 13.5-inch screen with the 3x2
Yep.
display, 400 nits, which a lot of people 300, 400.
Mm.
It's the best. It's one of the best displays going until
Yeah.
some of these 16x10s start coming out. But some people might prefer a 14-inch device, and they would want to go for the Ryzen version. But I think it just really depends on what you like. But it
Yeah.
comes in at
Yeah.
3.3 pounds, so it's going to feel very similar to that same device.
Yeah.
Are the AMDs or the Ryzen's fanned?
Should be, yeah.
Should be, yeah.
I know that.
Radeon
remember
graphics. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one we got our hands on. It was
Thought it did.
was
I
fanned.
couldn't remember for sure though.
Yeah, and so I mean, it'll come down to like sale prices and
Right.
all that kind of stuff. And then, two, we need to see for sure, or do these Ryzens, drop back in performance like the Ryzen 3 3000 series did?
Yeah, and that
Hopefully
was
not.
I wasn't going to say it, but
and that was an issue with
it's a big issue.
with throttling when unplugged.
right.
Yeah, it was insane.
Which was by design, but
and that's built on
Which
the
it's a
chipset.
portable laptop, so in theory you're going to have it unplugged quite a bit.
Right.
Hopefully.
And so it's like, we're doing
Well,
that to
maybe
save
not.
battery. Well, sorry, but Intel has figured out a way not to have to do that.
Yeah.
And still getting the same types of battery life.
because that's what the Acer is saying, up to 10 hours of battery life, which 10 hours on this level of chip is, if you get 10 hours out of this device,
Yeah.
you're
So
doing
it's-
good.
And
But
it's performant. And so it's like,
but if it's going to give me 10 hours and I'm losing
At 60
30% of
it was
my
performance?
40% of
40%
performance,
performance dip across the
forget
board.
it. Give me the performance and I'll sacrifice the battery.
Yeah.
I don't expect
well-
to get that out of my Chromebook anyway. I mean, if I get 6-7 hours out of the CX9, I'm happy.
Now, for what it's worth, that we were seeing zero drop off with the one
Right.
we got our hands on.
Right.
But we were informed, the battery hasn't been tuned on those HP devices at the time that we had them. So it may either not be throttling when it should have been. The battery life was pretty atrocious. It was like 4 hours, I think, is what it was tracking to get. But again, it was made clear to us like these batteries don't get tuned until it's one of the speakers and the batteries kind of get tuned up right before we ship.
Yeah,
so
half the time they just have a random battery slapped in them.
Right.
Anyways,
Yeah, they'll
random
swap the battery out
screens.
right before
it's
they
all
start
about
production.
the board and the chip.
Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to draw any conclusions until we get a one that is manufacturer ready,
Right.
sent to us by either Acer or HP. And again, like Abe said, if it's 7 to 10 hours of battery life of actual use, that's fine
That's
for
all.
devices that have this kind of performance. For me, I'm still waiting on. I can't wait. We got it at CES, the Companio 1380. Acer Spin 513, and it was basically the 713 just with the Companio in it, same awesome screen, all that stuff. And if the battery life I got on the Acer that we just reviewed is any indication, if it's going to get 12 or 14 hours and standby time that lasts all day,
Yeah.
and I get that chassis with no fans on it, nice and lightweight with that screen, that's going to be really hard to beat. As much as I'm looking forward to the Dragonfly, I love having that kind of battery life. Like that is just, it's liberating. Like to never have to take it home each night, and while I'm at home to never have to search for a charger. No,
does your Mac get 14 hours?
Probably.
I mean,
the M1s.
I'm just, no, like genuinely, does the M1 do the M1s get that kind of battery?
They're insane.
Yeah.
If you're editing with it, does it?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go home with a full battery, edit for 3-4 hours, and it's down maybe 15%.
Really?
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Does it chew through it any faster when you're like exporting or rendering anything?
It might,
It definitely can heat
Like
up and the fan will start.
Yeah, when the GPU, I guess,
does.
it would probably pull in a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be said about that kind of battery life. Yeah. We made the jump, I think, with 4th gen Intel chips to where we were like, hey, we have a laptop that's now, instead of getting 2.5 hours, it's getting like 6. I remember Haswell.
Yeah.
4th gen. I remember it was a big deal. And that started setting people's expectations for like, oh, I can have like kind of sort of all day battery life if I don't have to find a charger. That'd be amazing. And so that it's always that line of performance versus battery life. And, Intel keeps pushing performance to these new levels, and we keep getting all these new like features and stuff, but I don't feel like they've made a great jump in battery life in a while.
No, and
we're always at like 10 hours battery.
Yeah,
and,
I think even like
standard.
the fanless core chips, the power is really good on them, but they push that power as much as they can, so you sacrifice what battery you would have gotten from it being fanless. Like the CX5400, it's good battery life, but I feel like there's times when I push it that it kind of struggles a little bit, I
mean, you're getting 7 hours really of use, 8 hours maybe, and if you crank the brightness down and take care of it, like if you're conscious of it, versus these ARM chips, I feel like you don't have to be you don't have to think about it. You're just like,
and that's probably why I don't.
Yeah,
I don't think about it because I'm not an on-the-go computer. Mine's always at my desk, plugged in, full brightness, and then if I'm at home working on it, I'm working on it for an hour or two. I have a tablet at home if I want to fiddle with stuff.
So that's been like. That's how I've tried to review battery life now, is I'm going to take whatever device it is home with me, and I'm not going to bother with a charger and see what it does.
Right.
Over the weekend, if I'm going to write a couple things or pull the Chromebook out to do stuff, how's it handle standby? Like real world ways that you're going to handle battery life. Like telling me I get 7 hours of use. I'm like, okay.
What does that mean?
Right.
Really? Yeah.
What is the use? And a use at 80 nits of brightness, because that's what they all get tested
that's
at.
That's what they're tested at,
80 nits of brightness.
You're like,
I can't see the screen, but cool, I'm using it.
Yeah.
Like
and
that's
again
crap.
it's all relative because people say, well, we want to know real world use. Well, real world use is different for everyone as well. I mean, I can get a Core i5 8 gig Chromebook, and all I do is get on Facebook and write some Google Docs. It's going to get really good battery life.
Yeah.
But for me, it's going to get about 4 hours. Maybe 5, because I've always got Linux
got the brightness cranked.
Brightness is cranked. I'm always doing, I've started using, I've taken after Robbie, and I'm starting to use desks now. So
they're the best.
There's just stuff going on all over.
Especially
the place.
still haven't gotten there, but I'll try. I'll try.
And I'm in Culinary, which I think actually just disconnects your battery. Pretty sure.
But like last night, I went home and I had to finish up the HP article because I had to go out at 8 a.m. I was like, by the time I get here in the morning, I'm gonna have 20 minutes to finish this up, and I'm gonna be rushing, and so I'll finish it up tonight. So I don't have a second screen or any of that stuff. Get my little mouse out and open the screen up and set my desks up real fast, and I can swipe through or keyboard shortcut through and feel like I've got 4 monitors sitting there, or 5, or how many ever I want. Do you not use them on Mac either?
Never have.
Crazy, because they're so good on
But
Mac.
like with the templates and all that stuff, man, it's getting really cool. It's getting to the point where it's very useful
rich.
for me,
Yeah,
so I like it.
Yeah,
okay, let's talk about one other quick thing before we wrap up. We filmed a video yesterday. It'll probably be going out soon about some cool stuff that Gabe found. Gabe dug up. I guess the projector stuff was originally who JoJo had written about it. I don't remember.
It's bounced all over the place.
It's been quite some time. Michael and I have been looking for it for a while. Kent Duke discovered this like a year ago.
Yeah, that's right.
We didn't really cover down on it very much because we never could get it enabled or find. There just wasn't much on the surface to talk about. He had some mock-ups of what it was going to look like.
It clearly changed a lot since
he
found
lot,
it.
Because if the mock-ups he got came from the repository, they don't look anything like what's happening now.
No.
So Michael and I have been keeping an eye on it, and a few weeks ago it popped up in Culinary, and it's called the Projector app, and there was annotations, and sharing and all that stuff, and it's super cool. You can do a screen recording, and it annotates any, and it's super sensitive. Like the guy in the office next to us was standing outside the door while I was doing a recording, and it transcribed. No, I say annotation, not annotation. Transcription. It transcribed everything that he said. But you have on-screen annotation too. So while you're recording, it's for presentation. But we've been waiting for the selfie camera to pop up because we knew it was coming. I think you had discovered.
Yeah, I found it.
Yeah,
a while back.
So
I thought it was just going to be for the standard screen recording tool.
Yeah. So I always have all those flags enabled. Well, the other day I saw this selfie cam flag. It's like, oh my gosh, that's it. I enabled it, but I couldn't find the projector app, and I'm like, it's gone. It's not working on Canary. And I'm like, that's Canary. That they giveth and they taketh away. You know, I was scrolling through my apps one day just to try to delete some stuff in my app drawer, and I saw this thing that said screencast. And my first thought was, is this like an old version of like Chromecast or something, or like Miracast or something? I click it. It's the projector app. They've renamed it. I found the commit where they changed the name,
except for all the internal stuff you do in it. And
all the projector. So there's all these virtual tour videos, and they refer to it as the projector. But in the tour, they always said record your screen and yourself. And in the corner, there's a little head pop up, and like, I know the selfie camera's coming, and sure enough, fired it up, and it worked. The camera worked, recorded, annotated, and it's like it's pretty close to being done. There's a support page that has just some lorem ipsum on it, but the support page is live, and it's like, this thing's ready. Let's do this.
So the selfie cam showed up in the regular screen recorder app, right?
Well, I saw it in the screencast app first, and then we opened just the regular screen recording app screen capture, which is just you use that for screen recordings and screen captures, and it showed up there too. So it's going to be. They're both doing the same thing pretty much.
They're two parts of the same whole.
Yeah, screencast is just the thing that takes the pieces and puts them together into a usable video, their WebM, right?
Yeah, so there's a WebM piece, there's a thumbnail that goes with it.
And then there's the transcription file, whatever that is.
It's a projector file. Yeah. Because it all uploads to your drive automatically when you get done. And there's a folder for the recording, and inside there's those three pieces.
Yeah, and this is a system web app because I found the URL for it. There's a URL that all the stuff plays through. But if the projector app is not installed on your device, or you're on a non-Chrome OS device, which they discovered on the Mac the other day, it just says this won't open on this device, even though it's just a WebM. But it recognizes that as a projector app file.
Yeah. So my hope is that they'll create a web-based component for it, the viewing part. Right. That's it. Like, you don't have to do anything else with it. But the viewing part of it's half the magic. Like, you open that file up and you have the video there where you can see the annotations, but then you see the what's the word for it? Transcription over on the right side. That's all time-stamped, and you're like, if this was a 30-minute long presentation, I could scroll down and wait, because you can search it too. I can find the thing I want, click on it, it immediately takes you there in the video, and I can see the piece I need and get out.
Yeah, I mean, this is what they've been doing with YouTube here for a little while, where they're putting in the automated, the jump links and stuff where you can jump straight. But it works really. I would have expected the transcription stuff to be really wonky out of the gate. It works, but what was the one thing we did in the 3-dot menu? You can edit the transcriptions that way.
I didn't put that in the video.
Yeah, if you're using the transcriptions, because a lot of times you'll use transcriptions, like you'll do a video and then you take that transcription and you use it to actually write a physical script, or someone else who's editing the video you can go in there and edit where it may have made a mistake or something.
Right.
It's really, really good.
Yeah.
Plus they have the share links now.
And they're all, it's just a URL that you just share it out to. And, the thing comes up just like it would in Google Drive. Like, you want to share this, keep it private, or you want to share this, anyone who has the link, you click OK. And that's why I thought, it's the URL. You're going to click this, get here. And so it seems like it would be super counterintuitive for them to be like, nope, you're going to have a Chromebook with this app on it. Like,
surely.
Because they're adding the new editing and screenshot tools to Chrome. That just showed up today, but that's been in the works for a while.
My guess is it'll all come together. Now, they may force you, like if you open it on a Mac, for instance, it may be like, you can only view this in Chrome.
Yeah, I can see that.
I could see it doing that.
This is going to be a big shot, because we didn't know how robust this was going to be when it was first discovered, because when Kent first found it, it made it sound more like it was like something you used. They
It's a
actually
projector.
they called it like presentation mode, where you're like projecting. Like it was
in a meeting
almost
or
felt like
something.
a cast thing.
Yeah, like
know?
you have your presentation on screen. You can sit and make notes.
Yeah,
Right.
And it's recording it for you, maybe, so that way you have it afterwards.
But
Yeah.
now that we know
okay.
what it is, like it's weird that they changed the name to Screencast, because any of you in education or enterprise, you've probably heard of Screencastify, which is kind of similar to Loom, but Screencastify does exactly what Screencast is doing, and I hate it for them, but Google's going to put them out of business
Yeah. I mean,
if it's baked in.
Yeah.
If it comes to Chrome,
right.
because
yeah,
it works for Chrome and Windows. And all that
Yeah,
stuff,
I don't know. I don't know that the whole screen capture. Who knows what they'll try to do? I don't know if they could do that through, because the Chrome capture tool, will it do full screen? I guess it'll do full screen captures and stuff, right?
Yes.
I mean, if trust me, if they can, they will.
Yeah,
They'll
again,
roll this out to everybody.
I mentioned this in my post. I don't think this is Google's target with this. This is clearly like education and enterprise. But if this thing will run well enough and long enough that you can do selfie cam screen recordings of yourself gaming, I mean, you already have, like, Stadia already has shared or YouTube and Twitch and all that stuff. If they can make some sort of integrations here where people can play Steam, Stadia, GeForce Now, whatever, and do that. Because right now you can't do that on a Chromebook right now, because you can't use OBS or any of those other capture cards or anything like that. This will be big for people that want to do some casual gaming and spin up a YouTube channel or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's a very powerful tool.
Yeah, and it's just cool. Like, it's as we were sitting and filming it yesterday, you can just sit and think of all these, like, obviously education and enterprise stuff, but like Andy, I think you mentioned, like the stuff you have to show your parents all the time.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Geek Squad
Over and
stuff,
over, they can just go
because
to
we
it.
all work
Yeah.
for Geek Squad.
Yeah, they can search what they need help on.
Yeah.
and find it.
Yeah, it's dope. I love it. Okay, cool. I think that's it for today. We appreciate you all tuning in and listening and watching, and we'll catch you all next week. See ya.